Welcome back to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is 5 Eras, 5 Books. We are into the 4th era now. We started with the Roman Empire, and I'll put that video up in the cards, with a book from Paul Doherty in 313 AD called Murder Imperial. Next, we moved to the medieval time period, the High Medieval era, with Mistress of the Art of Death by Ariana Franklin, and I'll put that video up in the cards as well. And then we moved into the Elizabethan era with Face Down Upon an Herbal by Kathy Lynn Emerson, and I'll put that video up in the cards as well. Today we're moving ahead to the Victorian era, and I'm calling it the Victorian era because that's technically what it is, but we're in the United States. We are in Boston with Still Life with Murder by P.B. Ryan. Now, this book is set in Boston in 1868. Victoria is in her 31st year as Queen of England. In the United States, Andrew Johnson is president, and it is what is called the Gilded Era, the Gilded Age. And the Gilded Age is a time period that is known for the rapid economic growth, the influx of European immigrants, industrialization, but also great poverty and inequality. And so it's an interesting time period. It's shortly after the Civil War. And this is a historical series featuring Boston governess Nell Sweeney. Now, I would just like to say at the beginning that I absolutely love this series. This is the first in the series of 6, and I love this series. It was really well written. The era was really well evoked. Nell Sweeney is a fascinating character. She's so interesting, and the mysteries in each book were really good as well. So for today, we're going to focus just on this one, the first, Still Life with Murder. So I'm just going to read the back. Boston, 1868. The wealthy are enjoying the height of the Gilded Age, a time of opulence for many, but not all. Nell Sweeney, a young Irish immigrant, knows what it is to have nothing. But when she earns a coveted position as governess to the wealthy Hewitts, Nell discovers that deadly secrets often lurk beneath society's gilded surface. The 2 eldest Hewitt boys were thought to have been killed in the Civil War some 3 years ago. But one winter's day, the family hears word that their William is in fact still alive, and in jail for having killed a man. Enraged at his son's deception and convinced of his guilt, August Hewitt is determined to see William hang, and thus forbids his wife from aiding Will in any way. But Viola Hewitt believes her son is innocent and begs Nell to help her exonerate him. With few leads and even less time, Nell must rely on her wits and her knowledge of the city's dark underbelly to discover the truth before the hangman's noose tightens around William Hewitt's throat. I gave this book 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's a very interesting time period. She includes a lot of really interesting period detail in her books. Her characters are great, and especially Nell. And as the series progresses, you learn much more about them. And like I said, the mystery is also really good. So if you like historical cozies, this could be the book for you. It is considered technically a cozy, but I would have to say that it's probably a little bit darker than you would expect. Like if you pick it up expecting a classic cozy, you may be a bit surprised. It is a little bit darker. the events of the Civil War and the prison in Andersonville. Is that the right name for the prison? Anyway, there's those kind of descriptions. There's some descriptions of opium dens and opium use and some violence. And so it's not horrific and graphic or anything like that, but it's maybe a little more than you might expect in a traditional cozy. But I highly recommend this series. I really enjoy them. And I love the Victorian time period, but I tend to read more books set in England in the Victorian time period. But this Gilded Age in America is also really interesting. And so I don't read a ton of historical mysteries set in the United States. And so when I find a series that I love this much, I felt like I needed to highlight it. So this is Still Life with Murder by P.B. Ryan. And come back tomorrow for the last in the series of 5 Eras, 5 Days. Bye.